Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is Friday, August 28th. We have all made it through another week. I hope everyone's doing really well. I want to say hello to all of my original subscribers and welcome to all my new ones. I saw I got quite a few new subscribers, so welcome to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And you do need to tap the bell. If not, you'll never get alerted when I make a new video. So today we're going to be doing three different readings. We're going to be looking at Trump now that the RNC is over. We're going to be looking at Stephen Miller. There was a book published about him on August 11th called Hate Monger. So I thought we should at least take a look at him, and I've never done a reading on him before. And we're also going to be taking a look at Kyle Rittenhouse. He is that 17-year-old that shot three, murdered two people. And I am not usually, for those of you that know my channel, you know that I usually put up pictures of people that you don't know very well that I read on. I will not be putting up any pictures of him because I think that's exactly what someone like him would want. They want the glory, and so we're not going to be giving that to him. So first, let me select the free reading winner. So let me give this a shake. Pull out a number. 45. So if you want to do this with me, under the comments section, you press those three bars, you put the comments in chronological order, and then you count down to 45. Okay, everyone, I counted down 45, and this is at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the 45th person is John Sheets. So John, send me an email at dianestarot@gmail.com and we will set you up with a reading. Very exciting. So everyone was talking about Melania's dress. I just wanted to comment on that because everyone was saying, you know, it looked Russian, it looked something out of like Nazi Germany. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I was like, you know, somebody else wore that dress. Who am I thinking of? 11 p.m. last night, I sat up out of bed and I said, Aunt Lydia. So if any of you watch The Handmaid's Tale, um, that's set in a dystopian future where women are basically enslaved. It's not a good future to be in. It's one where these women, these handmaidens, have to serve the elite and they have to carry their children and basically be their servants. And so it just reminded me of that. That's all I could think of. Okay, so Stephen Miller, where to begin with him? So there's a book about him called Hate Monger, Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, and the White National Agenda by journalist Jean Guerrero. And I think it's a pretty telling book from some of the excerpts that I have seen. Stephen Miller is the link between the White National Agenda and the Trump administration. For being 35 years old, he has an amazing amount of power and influence over the president. A direct quote from him, because he is the architect of Trump's border policies and some of his immigration policies. Direct quote about immigrants: conjure an invasion of animals to come steal American jobs and spill American blood. He does have ties to far right groups. And when I was thinking about him prior to this, I kept hearing Q. I think he does have a direct link to Q. I think he is that far right. His mentor was Steve Bannon. Not a surprise, right? And much like Kyle Rittenhouse, Stephen Miller's hatred for other humans began as a teenager. It actually began when he was in high school. And so he has like this really long history. He grew up in the 90s in Southern California. His father had a lot of issues. His father was fired from the law firm he worked at. He got embroiled in lawsuits with his real estate agency, you know, just lots of different things. So, you know, I thought, let's take a look at Stephen Miller. Let's see what's going on with him. He also was under Jeff Sessions. He did work for Jeff Sessions. And currently he is the senior advisor for policies under Trump in the Trump administration. So what do we need to know, Spirit, about Stephen Miller? And there is no flattering picture of him where he doesn't look like a supervillain. I don't know what that's about. Sort of like the eyes of the windows of the soul, something like that. I think that might apply. Okay. Interesting. So the card that represents him is the world. Part of it, I think the world is watching him, but I think he's also in for a new phase and a new cycle in his life. So let's see where that goes. His obstacle, the card of loss. Here he is, grief-stricken. Really interesting. So what is this about, Spirit? Oh, okay. His destiny is very much tied into whether Trump wins or loses. And I think he's suspecting there's going to be a loss. Okay, so his conscious thoughts are on a new beginning. So really interesting because the world card is about a new beginning. So he's really thinking about a new beginning, which makes me think that he is anticipating a loss. Subconscious thoughts, Queen of Wands. This has often come up to me as the Mike Pence card. So let me see, what is the connection between the two? Oh, my spirit guide is showing me them together planning something for when this is all over. I'm hearing more to come on that. So in the past, he had a lot of victories. He had a lot of triumphs. He has been, for someone who's like a villain, he's had a lot of success. The energies he's coming into, sometimes you don't have to read the cards too deeply. Here he is, the Fool, getting ready to step off a cliff. Okay, so yeah, I think he is anticipating that loss, and he knows that things are going to be changing. The way he sees himself, this is a very official, authoritative card, but this is also a religious card. The Hierophant is someone who is a spiritual teacher and leader. And so that tells me that he thinks that he is spiritually correct in his thinking and in his actions, which is a little scary. The way other people see him, that's pretty telling. They're seeing him as his hands are tied and there's not too much he can do, which makes me think that when the ship goes down, he's going down with the ship. His hopes and fears. He wants to cut a deal. And I keep hearing Mike Pence. There is some connection. And Q. So Q and Mike Pence, which makes me think that maybe Mike Pence has a little bit more to do with them than what we might have initially thought. Okay, so his outcome, you get the High Priestess, who is all about secret agendas, mysteries, hidden things, which my spirit guide is saying it's going right back to QAnon. That's interesting. Let me do a clarifier or two on that. I mean, I know he is really far right wing. I know that, but I didn't know he was that far, but I keep hearing Q. So he is like a secret gatekeeper is what I'm sort of hearing. People trust him with their secrets. Interesting. I don't think I would, though. Okay, so then he's at a crossroads. So he has a decision that he has to make. Really interesting. And then we get 10 swords in the back. So yeah, his future is not looking bright. So at the beginning, we get the world card coming into a new phase and a new cycle, with the outcome card being this. So, his future is not looking particularly well for him, which is good for humanity. Okay, so let's take a look at Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse's mother drove him on Tuesday, 20 miles from Illinois to Wisconsin with an AR-15 that he's not even old enough to have. Um, so far, she has not been charged. I haven't heard of her being charged. I suspect she will be, or she should be. Um, he finally has been arrested and charged. As you know, the police were very, very good to him. They offered him water while he was there at the protest. Uh, and his mother gave him a ride back home afterwards. Very, very bizarre. The protest was about Jacob Blake, the man that was shot in the back 7 times in front of his children by the police. And the police are still walking free, even though they have been put on administrative leave. One of the sad things that I thought was, you know, even though now he's paralyzed from the waist down and they've had to take out much of his intestines, he is handcuffed to the hospital bed. I mean, I just can't imagine that. That just seems unconscionable. Um, so Kyle is a bit obsessed with the police. We know from his social media accounts. He did try applying to the Marine Corps and he got refused. He was rejected. And they can't say for confidentiality reasons why he was rejected. But if you do a little digging, you'll see that he has a very long rap sheet, especially for a 17-year-old. Lots of disorderly conduct, drugs, like it's a whole variety of things, which, like I said, that's a lot for anyone, but a 17-year-old. He was interviewed by a couple of journalists that night before he did the shooting. And I did write down a quote that he said to one of the journalists. Part of my job is to protect people. If someone is hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle. I've got to protect myself, obviously. Well, he drove 20 miles out of his way, so I'm not sure how that fits in, but he did shoot 3 people and 2 of them did pass. So, Spirit, what do we need to know about this Kyle Rittenhouse? He wasn't always like this, is what I'm hearing. And he's been on a downward spiral. Oh, interesting. Okay, so as the vibrations of the planet is going up, remember how we've talked about the Schumann resonance and, that's the frequency of the planet. A week or so ago, it's the highest it's ever been. For people that have really low vibrations, it's really wreaking havoc on them. And I think he cannot withstand all this high, good vibrations. And I think it really is interfering with some of these people who are just so low vibrational and in some cases just potentially evil. And I don't think it mixed well with him. Like I've said before, as we go from 3rd density to 4th density, not everyone goes to 4th density. And it's becoming more and more apparent when we start looking at the Stephen Millers, the Stephen Bannons, the Kyle Rittenhouses, the Trump family, it's becoming obvious that there's a split coming. Okay, so the card that represents Kyle is the card of losing it all, the card of poverty. And yes, I mean, he's sitting behind bars. He has lost it all, but that was his choice at the same time. His obstacle, he's stuck. He got the hanged man. He can't move. He can't go anywhere. Well, he's in jail. His conscious thoughts, his mind is racing. His mind's racing, speeding up. Interesting. So, I mean, the Queen of Pentacles does worry. In particularly, she does worry about money. And so I'm wondering if there are financial issues at home, if he is worried about getting a lawyer, that sort of thing. In the past, he was the fool. He was the fool. There he is. The energies that he's coming into, interesting. He gets the Lovers, which is more balanced and harmonious. I'm going to do some clarifiers on that to see exactly what's going on with that. The way he sees himself, actually, now you saw how long I've been shuffling, right? He sees himself exactly the way Stephen Miller sees himself, as being this like religious leader, a spiritual teacher. How disturbing is that? And I keep just hearing brainwashing, brainwashing, and that's what Q and these far right organizations do. They actually make people think that they're right. Okay, interesting. So this is the card about family money. So, and where he got the Queen of Pentacles on top of it there, um, I don't think his family's in a position to be paying for an attorney. Okay, his hopes and fears. I mean, obviously, this is a fear. Him just fighting, battling. He's all alone on top of that hill, fighting off all these people down below. But once again, he did put himself there. He could have chosen a much harmonious past. Okay, so his outcome, the way he planned all of this was very meticulous. This is the card of not just working hard, but being very careful to plan well, to pay attention to details. And so if he tries an insanity plea, um, I think what they're going to turn around and say, you planned this too well. No. So let's look a little deeper at his short term over the next few weeks, even the next few months. Okay. Okay, so that makes sense. All right. So, okay, so he got the lovers where, he is which makes me think that somehow he's coming to terms with some of this in his own weird way. He gets the strength card. What I feel is there's two meanings to the strength card. One is strength and courage, and the other one is patience. This is going to be dragged out for a while, okay? And then he gets the judgment card. So within 3 months, um, he will be judged at some level. Uh, I believe it's September 25th that he goes before a judge formally, so that would be within 3 months. So let's look at his final outcome. Oh, geez. Well, he gets the Russian friend, right? Here he is trying to get away with things. This is a card of stealing. I mean, there he is looking over his shoulder, trying to run away, but I don't think it's going to work. And he gets very much like Stephen Miller, once again, the card of grief, sorrow, and loss. So, yeah, he's not in for a good time. Um, and he should not be in for a good time, should he? So, there we have that. Let's take a look at Trump now that that very strange RNC is over. Remember how I kept saying I didn't see like a convention center and I didn't see people watching it on tablets? And yeah, basically he just used the White House as a prop. Because I could see that he wasn't using a convention center or, using the approach that that Biden used. It looked very, very different. So what do we need to know right now about Trump? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? I'm hearing he feels defeated. Oh, he's not happy that the ratings were low. All he cares about is ratings. He's not happy about the ratings. He's angry about the economy, I'm hearing. Planning, plotting, scheming is what I'm hearing. Okay, so the card that represents Trump, once again, poor me, poor me. This is the card of being a victim, feeling like his hands are tied and he's trapped, and poor me. His obstacle, here he is back turned. He can't leave. He can't leave. As much as he, I think, wants to leave, on one hand, he knows that he can't because then the Southern District of New York goes to town on him. His conscious thoughts, that's pretty serious to have your thoughts be the death card. So I think that kind of says an awful lot. His thoughts are not in a good place, and it does make you wonder exactly how he plans on leaving if he doesn't win. His What is up with this card today? His subconscious thoughts, the Fool. What? I'm just gonna leave it at that, okay? In the past, this is in the past position. In the past, there was fighting, bickering, arguing, and not in a productive way. They could be using these sticks to build a house, but they are not. And so he sort of set the foundation for what's to come because he wasn't organized. The energy that he is coming into, back turned, leaving for smoother waters. Um, yeah, I think he wants out. The way he sees himself as the hermit, he's all alone, not getting any support. He's by himself. The way others see him, this is his base. This is his base. They still have faith and hope that he's going to win. Um, this would be his hopes and fears. This would be a hope that he can make deals. I'll give you a little money here if you do this for me there. I think that sort of energy. And then here he is back turned leaving. So that's his outcome card. Yeah, I think he's under an enormous amount of stress, and he wants out, but he really can't leave now, can he? All right, everyone. It was a pleasure reading for all of you today. I did release a meditation video earlier, so if you haven't watched that, please do. For all of you that are interested in booking a reading, I am booked until December. Some of you that are booking, you're skipping the first week in December. You absolutely can still click on those first dates in December. I did try, and you can. I don't know why they don't look as bright, but they don't. And then that's it that I have for 2020. I'm not going to open up January until October, okay? Because I only want to book 3 months out. So I have a few more dates left for 2020. I read 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Saturdays, and the third day fluctuates with my schedule. So, anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you in a few days. Bye, everyone.